I'm Serina.
And I'm Mihir.
And today we're going to go over operators, booleans, and if statements. So starting with operators, as in your math classes, just like the plus, minus, and multiply and divide, we also have that in Python. So for plus, it's the same thing as in math class, like just the plus symbol, same thing for minus, and for multiply we have the asterisk, and for the divide we have the slash. So Mihir, do you want to make a few examples of the operators?
Sure. So we can use operators to, as in math class, combine or manipulate two different numbers. So if you remember the print statement from last class, we can use that to display the value. So let's start with the print statement. Print, and let's do 1 plus 1. That's the simplest thing you can do, and Python will happily do that for you. You can also do things like subtraction, which will properly give you negative numbers, as well as multiplication, so 5 times 2. All these simple things that you've learned in math class can be done with Python. Python also handles decimals, so 5 divided by 2 will give you 2.5. And if you remember from last class, we touched on variables, and you can also use operators with variables. So we'll create a new variable called a, and let's set that to 10. And we'll also have another variable, let's say b, and let that be 15. So now that we've created two variables, we can use operators with these. So if I do print again, and then a plus b, it should print 25. And as you see, it can. And you can also do anything you want. You can multiply them, and it'll happily do that for you. Python also has other operators, which you may have learned in advanced mathematics classes, which include the power symbol, so 2 squared can be done like this, 2 star star 2. Also, the modulus operator, which helps you find the remainder. So if you've ever done a long division problem, and you find a remainder at the end, you can use this modulus operator, which is a percent sign, and get the remainder. So if we have, for example, 10 modulus 3, and I print that, print 10 modulus 3, it'll give us 1, because 3 times 3 is 9, and we have a remainder of 1. So this is the Python's core operators, and they can help you do a variety of tasks with math. Next, we'll introduce booleans, which are Python's bread and butter for using true and false values. One example of a boolean is on. However, if the boolean for light switch is false, it'll turn off. So now we're in the dark, we want the lights on again, we can set the light switch boolean to be true, and the lights will turn on again. Great. So, Serina, do you want to give us an example of booleans in Python?
Sure. So now we're going to do some if-else statements. So for example, an if-else statement can be, if I do my homework, then I can go play video games. Else I have to finish my homework again. So we can try this with the example we just had with the lights. So if we had light on, say that the light is on right now, so it is true.
And in Python, true is always with a capital T and also with false.
Yep, so if we want to make an if statement, we want to check if the light is on. We do if light on equals true. Then we can print it is bright. Now say that it was off right now. Then we can add an else statement, which would print it is dark. So if we run it,
wait, we just had a syntax error. What does that tell us? Well, let's introduce a new operator, which helps us compare two different values. So you've seen before that the single equals allows you to assign a variable. So let's say a equals 5. However, if we're checking if two things are equals, we need double equals. So here we need to do light on equals equals true to check if they're true. This is an operator called a conditional operator, which is only able to compare two things that are booleans, or true and false. So if we run this now, it should work. Cool. So since light on is true, it's able to print it is bright. But Serina, if you change it to false, what will happen? Great, it should print dark. So this is what you can do with simple booleans in Python. They help you control the flow of code. So if the light is, depending on the value of light on, the code can change what it does. Now we'll start a color guesser game. We'll combine input, variables, and also if statements and create a guessing game that can help you find our favorite colors. So we'll start with mine. And we'll first use input to create a variable that contains the first guess. So we'll start with guess color, and we'll use input and then ask the user what their favorite color is. So if we run this right now, we'll see that guess color is set to whatever the user input. So if they input red, the guess color will be red. So now we have to create a variable to check against that and see if the guess color is the same as my favorite color. So we'll have to create a new variable called favorite color Mihir. And since my favorite color is green, we'll use a variable for green. So now we can compare them using an if statement. So if the guess color is green, or is my favorite color, then we can print that the user is correct. And otherwise, we'll print they're incorrect. So now if we run this and someone types in red again, it'll print that they're incorrect because my favorite color is not red. So if we press run again and try green this time, it'll be correct because now we're checking that these two variables are the same, and they are the same because my favorite color is green and so is the guess color. So let's say we wanted to also make the user guess Serina's favorite color. So we would have to do the same thing as the start and create a guess color variable and favorite color variable for Serina. So you can start that with Serina's favorite color, and she likes yellow. And we'll also have to create another guess color for Serina so that the user can also guess another one. So guess color and then Serina. And it can be the same thing, except what is Serina's favorite color? Cool. So now we have to create a special type of operator called an AND, which will compare if two booleans are both correct or both true. So this will have to check, so if we add a second thing after, which checks if the guess color Serina is equal to favorite color Serina. And we'll also have to use a double equals this time, so since we're comparing two booleans. And using these, we can check if both the second statement, which checks if the guess color Serina is equal to favorite color Serina, and the first statement, which is guess color equals favorite color Mihir, and if they're both correct, we'll know that that the person is correct, or otherwise they're not. So if we run this, and we type in green and yellow, it'll show that we're correct, because both of them are true. However, if even one of them is wrong, so if you guess blue for mine, and yellow for Serina's, it'll still be incorrect because the and statement is not true. Because both of them, the first statement and the second statement, have to be correct. How about we want to be a bit more lenient with the person and see if either one of our guesses is correct? Python also has something for this. It's called an OR statement. If we replace the AND statement with an OR, either of these two can be correct and the whole thing will be true. So first, if we check both of them are right, so green and yellow, it'll do the same thing as before. However, if either one of them is wrong, so if we pick red for the first one and yellow for the second one, it'll still be correct. But if both of them are wrong, the whole thing will be false. So if we pick white and white for both colors, the whole statement is false because neither of these two statements is correct. So an OR statement and AND statements have their place in Python if you're trying to compare and combine two different booleans. Let's say we also had a bad color that we don't like. You can use not for this. So if we remove Serina's favorite color and just go back to mine, maybe the person wants to guess anything but my favorite color. So we can use the exclamation equals or even not equals. So if you replace the first equals with an exclamation and run the program again, now if we print anything, if we input anything other than green, it'll be correct. So try red. And we can just say anything for Serina's favorite color because it's not used. And it'll be correct because we didn't guess green. However, if we guess green for the first one, and Serina's is not used, so it's incorrect because we guessed a color that we didn't want to guess. So the not statement is basically the inverse of what we wanted to look at. If we wanted to pick the green, we would use equals, but if we wanted to pick anything but the green, we would use not equals. This is a great introduction to how booleans and operators work in Python. And the conditional operators as well as the mathematical operators are all useful in the future Python and our future courses.
Thank you for watching, and tomorrow we'll do loops and graphics. Keep pondering.